Alright, good morning. So yesterday I did end up doing in the range of like 33 to 35 miles, I don't know exactly, but yeah, another solid day. Hoping to do something similar today, we'll see how it goes as usual, but there's actually somewhere I'm heading to which is less than 30 miles, like maybe 26 or 27. There's actually an outfitter on the trail. So there's this outfitter called, I think it's called High Divide Outfitter, run by a guy called Dave. And Dave used to have this outfitter on the PCT, on the Pacific Crest Trail. And apparently there was like this term, getting daved. And getting daved means that you went into the outfitter and you spent like a load of money buying new gear, basically, because he kind of does like a shakedown, I guess. Like, people show up to the outfitters with like, a huge heavy pack, and then he tells them, nah, you shouldn't have that, you should get this instead, or whatever. And so I think he sells a lot of like ultralight, like through hiking type gear. And from what I've heard, like, he's basically running the best like gear shop for through hikers that exists, better than any other gear shop, because most gear shops are not like catered for through hikers, obviously. And honestly, it is a bit different than like regular people. Like, we're not out here buying camping chairs and 80-liter backpacks and stuff. So here's all this like cottage company gear, just like small companies which don't normally sell in shops. So you can't buy like, there's certain brands like, I don't know, maybe like Hyperlight Mountain Gear, they make backpacks, or certain kinds of quilts and sleeping bags, all sorts of stuff which like isn't really sold in the major gear shops, but apparently he has all that kind of stuff. So, and he also has food that you can buy for resupply. And it's funny, his shop is like basically in the middle of nowhere. I think it's basically like some little, I don't know, maybe like a shipping container or something, some small little like shed just off the side of the trail, like basically on the divide, on this pass called Stemple Pass. And it's kind of just like middle of nowhere. Like, I don't know, I think he has like solar panels for electricity and stuff. Like, it's really just like kind of like a cabin in the woods, except it's like a gear shop on the CDT, like not in a town. So it's pretty cool, actually. And I am actually planning to buy a new quilt, because I've mentioned before, I think I even mentioned all the way back when I was on the Arizona trail, that my quilt is kind of messed up. And I'm surprised I actually made it this far. Wasn't sure if I'd be okay in Colorado, but my quilt, like, the down has just been clumping. It's been like that for a long time. Like I said, since like before the Arizona trail. I've had this quilt for a while, and I don't know, I can't, like, I've tried washing it, I've tried putting it in the dryer a million times, tried, separating all the down, but yeah, it's all just clumped up, and there are just like, some of the baffles basically have no down in them, and basically my upper body has like no warmth for it. Like, you can get a lot of down by your feet, but like nowhere else. So recently I've been really cold at night, actually. It's actually been becoming kind of noticeable, and I need a new quilt, like, really badly. So I'm gonna get one at this outfitter. It's also beneficial getting a new quilt at this outfitter because, well, his prices are basically the same as they are on the websites for these gear companies, like maybe $10 more at most or something. But because I don't live in the US, if I try and ship something internationally, I have to pay like customs and taxes and international shipping, and like the custom tax ends up being a lot of money. So I'm actually going to save money by buying the quilt here. So yesterday I mentioned that I passed the highway which goes into town, goes to Helena, and you might be wondering about my decision to skip Helena. Probably seems a bit weird to skip a town, especially like it might be a nice town as well. And like I've mentioned a couple times recently, at this point in the trail I'm just trying to make it to Canada, and I really want to finish at this point. I'm really enjoying it. It's not that I want it to be over, but I do need to get back home and get back to work and start making money again. And I don't know, I just want to like see friends and family as well. I just want to finish the trail. So, and it's also nice to like push myself and see what I'm capable of in these last like 10 days or last whatever. Just see what I'm capable of. But yeah, anyway, given that it wasn't far since Anaconda, and that there's this Outfitters just up ahead which has food, and then not long after that is the next town, Lincoln. It's just so easy to skip Helena, and it avoids having to do the hitchhiking in, the hitchhiking out, and then paying for somewhere to stay in town, and probably spending too much money and too much time in the town. Usually when I get to a town I end up spending way longer than I originally planned. Often because I meet people and I hang out with people or whatever. And actually it's pretty unfortunate timing, because that whole group of hikers who I mentioned, I was hiking with for a while, that German guy Joe Dirt, Rattler, Yeti, Cream, Sonic, Mudbath, all of them, they're all in Helena right now, and they're taking a zero in Helena. They're all hanging out. Yeti called me yesterday and he was like, man, you gotta come to town, like we're at the bar right now, we just got the sushi, the all-you-can-eat sushi buffet, and I was like, oh man. And so it was tempting. It would have been really nice to hang out with them, because I haven't seen them all since Derby, I guess, and they all wanted me to come into town, and yeah, it would have been fun, but like, I know they're also taking a zero. I would have got sucked in. I probably would have taken a zero as well, and would have changed all my plans. At this point, I want to like make goals and actually achieve those goals, because frequently I make goals for like how many miles I'm going to do or what my plans are, and those plans fall apart. But like for these last like 300 or 400 miles on the trail, I want to actually like successfully complete those plans that I have. And also that all-you-can-eat sushi buffet was definitely very tempting. That's a strong reason to go into Helena. But I live in Vancouver, in Canada, and like Vancouver has amazing sushi. And honestly, I know that the sushi in Helena, no offense to the people of Helena, or the people that make that sushi, or the people that love that sushi, but it's going to be a letdown compared to the sushi in Vancouver. So I'm going to finish this trail, I'm going to go back to Vancouver, and I'm going to get lots of sushi. Might not be an all-you-can-eat buffet, but I'll get lots of sushi and it'll be really good. Oh, and by the way, apparently it's 100 degrees Fahrenheit in Helena today, so I don't know, I'm a bit higher up than Helena, up on this ridge on the divide, so it's definitely a bit cooler. It's not 100 up here, but it's probably at least 90. Definitely feels very hot. So it's been crazy hot today. Like I said, it was apparently like 100 degrees Fahrenheit in Helena today, and I'm really close to Helena, so definitely at least 90. And there's been lots of ups and downs, and obviously it's the ups where you just like, you really feel it. Right now, I've got some tree cover, and there's actually finally some clouds as well, but there's still no breeze. There's been a couple times where there's a light breeze when I'm like fully on an exposed ridge, but most of the time, yeah, it's completely calm, no wind, no clouds, and just like scorching hot with no shade and going uphill a lot. So it's been tough, but I've really been doing pretty well. I'm kind of proud of myself. I've just been powering through it. I've barely taken any breaks, just keep moving. But that's also because it's been like a 15 mile, maybe even 16 mile dry stretch, no water sources, and I filled up like 2 liters from that source, and I should have like chugged a liter while I was there and then filled up 2, but I just filled up 2 and drank the first liter fairly quickly. And so I've been doing most of this 15 miles on that second liter, and at this point I'm getting close to the water source, less than 3 miles, but really thirsty now. So looking forward to getting to that spring up ahead. Also, you may have noticed that it's been quite hazy on the horizon, and that's definitely forest fire smoke. There have been quite a few days recently actually for most of Idaho, Montana, it's been at least a little bit smoky. It's never really been that bad, but sometimes you can smell it, and it's often hazy on the horizon. It actually makes the sunset and sunrise look really cool, but yeah, obviously it's not a good thing. There are definitely fires. There's one fire, I don't know if it's out yet, but there was a fire in Idaho called the Moose Fire, and we went like kind of close to that. Apparently you could see it at one point from the trail, but probably not when I was going through. Alright, so it's about 6 o'clock now. The temperatures are much nicer. There's actually a lot of cloud coverage now, and I'm about to reach the outfitter. So I've done almost 30 miles and it's only like 6 o'clock. And it also means that in the past 3 days I've done a total of 100 miles. 100 miles in 3 days, which is pretty solid, and that was the pace that I was looking for. So far I'm totally on track with what I was hoping to do. Alright, so I've made it to Dave's outfitter, and I've just done like a quick in and out. I stopped there, I got some food, just regular like hiker food, like snacks and stuff, and I got my new quilt. So I got a Katabatic quilt. It's the Katabatic Palisade, so I'm very excited to be nice and cozy at night now. It's the Palisade, which is rated as a 30-degree quilt, 30 degrees Fahrenheit, which is like -1 Celsius, but it's been overfilled an extra 3 ounces of down. So apparently it's more like a 20-degree quilt, which is like -6 Celsius. So it should be nice and warm now. It's a big difference. I forgot, I should have taken a photo of my quilt. It was so bad, it was insane. I really should have taken a photo of my old quilt, the Enlightened Equipment one. It's a shame that I didn't actually. I ditched it back there basically. But it basically is a glorified sleeping bag liner. Like, it's just like all the down is at the feet. That's it. You can shake it and get some of it further up, and it's really bad. It's really badly clumped up. So I'm happy that I got a new one. It should be nice and warm now. And Dave's outfitter is really impressive. He has loads of really cool gear. So yeah, it's a great place. And he's a friendly guy as well. And there was a big group of hikers there. I don't know how many, maybe like 10 or a dozen hikers. And no one that I've met before, or people that I'm catching up to basically. And so I met a load of people, but I told them I wanted to keep hiking, so I only stopped there for about an hour. Didn't really get a chance to meet those people much. Seemed like a nice group of people, but yeah, I just want to get some more miles in tonight before it gets dark. And like I said, I did about 30 miles to get to the outfitter, and now it's like almost 8 o'clock, and I want to try and do at least another 3 miles, bring me to 33 today. And also from here it's only 25 miles to the next town called Lincoln, so if I can get that down to like 22 miles or maybe 20 miles, that would be great. Make it really easy to get to town tomorrow. Oh, and also I actually wanted to film a clip of the guy's place, you know, film some footage or at least take some pictures, but he has multiple signs saying that you got to put your camera or phone away, and no pictures, no video on the property. Technically me walking out there, I'm kind of on the property, but I doubt he would care about that. But it's funny, like there's a little trail, you have to go about a quarter mile off of the main CDT, and he's built his own little trail to get out there. And then the place is absolutely just packed full of gear. It's really cool. But yeah, no photos, no video, but oh well. Anyway, so I'm going to try and get these final few miles in and then find somewhere to camp, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.